Welcome back to another podcast with Amin. In case you haven't seen the previous one, which was about property law, do check it out. It's somewhere here. But today we're talking about living in Dubai and the legality, I guess, of living in Dubai. So I just want to, first off, ask how strict is Dubai?
Absolutely strict if you're breaking the law.
Very good
Just
answer.
don't do that.
Okay. So, like, how would you explain Dubai as a city to live in to a Westerner? Like freedom of speech and what you can say, what you can't say, what you can do, what you can't do.
Look, if you're a law-abiding citizen, this is heaven. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's the best place on earth. I think best country, best city on
Mm.
earth to be in right now, especially.
To be a law-abiding citizen, yeah.
Yeah, to be a
Yeah.
law-abiding citizen,
Yeah.
you're gonna, it's one of the only places on earth where the government actually supports you. It's crazy. And people still like to but and how about this and that? I'm like, dude, give me an alternative, please.
Government supports you. What
Yeah,
do you
the
mean?
government supports you. All right, you want to set up a business? How about having a license in less than 24 hours and immediately starting a contract,
yeah.
signing contracts the next day? I did a business in Paris. I started my own business in Paris. Bro, it took me like 3-4 weeks just to get the license drafted and
Yeah.
then another 2 weeks for it to be approved. By that time, I had like 3 competitors in the market because I was making a product by myself, like in a factory.
Yeah.
It's jewelry business. And by the time I developed it and molds and all of that, by the time it got out and the design was already out, I already had competitors in the market by the time I even got my license done.
Yeah. How else would you say the government supports its residents here?
By protecting you, by giving you security, how about this? How about by being able to go to the ATM and take out 5,000 cash?
Or 100,000?
Or 100,000 cash, or even deposit it,
Yeah.
and then only have the bank tell you, hey, by the way, where did this come from? And if you're a law-abiding citizen,
Yeah.
you already have the proof for that funds, and that's it. It's an email, and you're done.
Yeah.
But if you go to any European bank, you want to take out 500 pounds for yourself,
Yeah.
it's 2,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
I had my family; they wanted to send me money from Dubai to France. It took 3 weeks for 1,000 dirhams. Oh no, 1,000 pounds or euros to be transferred. 1 week, 3 weeks. Sorry, 3 weeks for 1,000. It's crazy. And I had to make a meeting with them on this day at this time. Please come to collect your cash. It was crazy. And I'm like, you're asking me all of these questions. My rent is way more than this. Like, what am I even gonna do? Like, I need to pay my rent. Like, it's way more than this.
Yeah.
So again, I have to come in 3 weeks. The landlord's now waiting for his money. What do I mean?
I think in my eyes, it's like people take the so-called negatives, which are just I think they're cultural differences. They're like the things you sort of. It's for the greater good of the society. The benefits that come out of such rules or laws that are in place are like insane, and they're far greater than the romanticized concepts of freedom of speech, because there is no freedom of speech even in the UK. UK as a country has done more arrests
Yeah,
than
I've seen
Russia.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think freedom of speech is like an ideal concept,
Yeah.
which isn't true anywhere. But there's different levels to which different governments practice it. And I think the trade-off that the UAE has done is just perfect. It's completely respectful as a society. So that's where the freedom of speech is, twisted to use. And it's completely safe. So there's a way they've used it, which is far greater than, the ideal concept, which doesn't exist anywhere. Anyway.
What my understanding is of the UAE, and because I've been here for so long, I understand that what I get from this, what I've derived is that the UAE government, the way they see it, is like, what's the worst about every other place in the world? How do we fix it? And let's
Yeah.
bring that here.
Yeah.
What's the worst? Homelessness is a huge problem.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem. Drugs is a huge problem. Crime,
Yeah.
illogical prices of housing, not being able to afford anywhere to stay, this and that. How do we fix that? Impossible administrative procedures to even rent, to even buy, or this or that. How do we fix that? This is the solution.
Yeah.
And they implement it. And because, you can't have 30 captains on a ship You have one captain and he makes the decision, and when he makes the decision, you go that direction. It can be right, it can be wrong, doesn't matter. If it's wrong, you change course, and immediately your next step is to go the correct direction after you realize you've made a mistake. All right? But when you have 50 people, 25 on the left and 25 on the right, arguing and throwing things at each other, I'm right, no, I'm right, but he has a scandal, but then he slept with this and that. You're never going to come to a conclusion about what's actually important, which is fixing the country, fixing the laws, fixing crime, etc., etc.
There's no decisive action in the West because of the way democracy and how they work, really. Because growing up, I remember we were all taught that democracy is the best system in the world for the people, by whatever. But you look at the West, and you're really any democratic country, and you see how they're not really able to function. Whereas I don't think there's a best system. It's just who's using it how.
Who's using it how, and which one you prefer to live in. I know people that are very happy to pay 50% of their income to the government. Close their eyes on how the government uses that money. They can fund this, they can fund that, they can put it in their own pocket through a trust or whatever they'd like to do over there. But then you have, your freedoms, which is like being able to walk around drunk in the streets. That's one of them. That's true. It's a true freedom.
I like that one, though.
So that's a freedom. I mean, some people, value that. They like that. They want to do that. That's fine.
I think that's okay here as well. You can walk around drunk.
No.
You can't be a nuisance. But when you get out of a club,
you're not going to teleport home, obviously. But if you're not causing issues for other people, but that is
being drunk is okay.
Having drinks and then taking a taxi and going back home and not starting a fight.
Or walking home if you live close by.
Right, but then that's not the freedom I'm talking. I'm talking about the freedom where you cause nuisance to other people. You start shouting in the streets or start singing out loudly.
Well, technically that's not allowed in any country. Being a nuisance. Is it?
But then how is it?
Or is it just that the police doesn't want to
How is it implemented? I don't know if you've been out past 10 p.m. in Europe, but like...
I have, yeah.
Yes, I know. It's a...
And I've been the drunk guy.
Rhetorical question.
Being a nuisance,
Yeah, but then once you see those people, is it implemented? Is there any...
It's not implemented,
It's never implemented.
Yeah.
It's even part of the culture. Getting drunk, in the UK especially, or even in France or wherever. Getting drunk with your buddies, going out, being a nuisance as a group for other groups or with other people, and then teasing them or whatever. I don't want to use it. I don't want to swear. Like whatever, shooting the shit or whatever. You can do that, and it's part of the culture. You may even make friends that way. But over here, it's not a cultural thing, or it's not part of the culture over here, and that's fine.
And I think it attracts people who prefer that as well.
There or here,
both sides. Yeah. Because I enjoyed doing all of that in the UK. But when you're there, there's a culture there. And when I'm here, I actually prefer this. Like if I was a dad, I prefer the peace and quiet and the ability to walk anywhere at 11 p.m. Even as a guy, I didn't feel safe in the UK, in London. The kind of things I've seen.
It doesn't matter what part of society or however you want to put it you are. I don't want to be a classist, but regardless of your income level, you're going to take public transportation anywhere in Europe. Everywhere in Europe. Now, the problem with public transportation is that it's public. You're there with all kinds of people, and you're going to have to tolerate, and you're going to have to take the public transportation with them. They can be the classiest of classy people, or they can be literally people that are there just to cause problems.
And threats to your physical safety.
I myself have been threatened physically in Europe. It happens. It happens. And then you'd have to just know how to deal with those kind of things. Some people, unfortunately, may not be so lucky. They may literally be no danger to anyone, and they may face a threat, and they may get hurt in the process. So,
what would you tell to a Westerner who's moving to Dubai? Like, these are a few things, just make sure you're not doing, or you are doing. Like, what are small rules or laws they should be aware of?
If I can give just one advice, and I think this will cover most of the laws, is just to be respectful. Anything that covers you being respectful. Now, whether that's not swearing at other people, not being offensive, verbally or over text or over messages. Not filming other people, because you have to respect in which ways? Like respecting privacy, for example, respecting someone's dignity. Also respecting other people, like culturally, meaning you don't swear at their, you don't insult their religion, their country, where they're from, their race,
Yeah.
ethnicity. You don't insult them by, dressing very overtly,
Yeah.
because you may be in a place where it's meant for families. If
Yeah.
you're going to the beach and you wear a bikini,
It's fine, but not in Dubai Mall.
If you go to the mall
Yeah.
and you're wearing a bikini and you're just covering it with something else that is also not covering your bikini,
Yeah.
maybe yeah. What I love about the UAE is that they're very tolerant, but maybe
Yeah.
sometimes people can misuse that
Yeah.
tolerance
Yeah.
into doing whatever they want to do that is causing discomfort for others. And I don't know, maybe some people are okay with that, but me personally, if I know I'm causing discomfort for some people, I cannot feel comfortable myself.
Okay. So be respectful, whether that's your words, your dressing sense, or how you conduct yourself around people, just
Yeah,
in
okay.
general. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you would tell a Westerner.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Okay. So things like, football hooliganism that's in the UK, or
Not a lot. Yeah.
drinking and shouting.
I don't even know why that's part of the culture, honestly.
I like it. I saw
Really?
it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Okay, in the stadium, like chanting
Yeah,
for your team,
yeah.
that's fine. But
Yeah,
when you go
even
for
when
an
you
away
get out
game,
of the stadium,
yeah.
I mean, they do fights as well.
Okay.
And I like that bit of the culture as well.
Okay, but then like you're causing so many issues
Yeah,
for everyone.
yeah.
It's
But
an issue.
I think I just like exploring different cultures. So when you're in Rome, so I guess.
Yeah.
But then when you come back home to Dubai, I actually, on a day-to-day basis, when you're just going to work, or you're going to meet a friend, all of these rules have somehow made life a lot easier here to conduct. So I do like that about here.
Yeah, I give an example to all people that like it can apply to anything that you like. It's like, okay, you want to do this or that, whatever that's not allowed here, it's going to cost you so much less. If you miss it or you want to do something, whatever it is, it would cost you so much less to get on a flight, even pay for a hotel, go there, do that, than to get in trouble here, have to pay the fine, have to pay a lawyer, have to pay this and that and that. It's going to cost you like 10 times less.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
What should employees know before they sign a contract?
Okay, very good point.
Anything related to employees coming in or business owners coming in here?
Okay,
what would you like to say to them?
Very good point. Before signing anything, this is the best part, is to review it before signing it. Because a lot of people sign it and then they have questions.
They review it.
Right? They submit it to the employer and they're like, oh, by the way, what should I do? It's like too late. So before you sign anything, make sure you understand everything. And not only what's written in the contract itself, because you have the one that's a government contract.
Yeah, labor
contract. Then you have the one that's like a private contract between
the company
you.
and
Exactly.
Okay.
So the second one is where there is more freedom, because anyone can write whatever they want, but doesn't necessarily mean that, first of all, it's covered by the law, or it's necessary for you to do, even if it's covered by the law.
Okay.
So, for example, if your salary says it's going to be 5,000, and on paper they make you sign something that's less, or they start paying you less, that's going to be an issue later for you.
Okay.
For example, they tell you that you should hand over your passport to them. You should.
Obviously,
yeah, obviously, right? But many people don't know this.
By the way, all of this passport thing online that people say about slave labor and all that, is that corporate greed unchecked? Like companies came in, they saw how the law is, and they started doing this without obviously the government didn't know, and they're misusing, exploiting people. And has that been stopped now?
It has been stopped. It's been stopped. It's completely illegal for companies to collect your passport.
Yeah.
There are some occasions where the reason why they do it is because most of the times that they do it is not justified at all. They should never do that. But the employees don't know, so they give their passports. But they should obviously never do that either. However, some places where they do it, and even the employees are okay with doing that, where they understand why the company does it, is where they're in a financial risk. What I mean by that is, or like a livelihood risk. For example, this taxi driver, he's an expat. He could drive and hit someone and, cause damage to someone, or, cause physical hurt to someone, and they could flee the country. Now that person, the poor person who got into an accident because of the driver's recklessness, maybe he was drinking, I don't know. He caused harm to someone and he's not there to pay the dues to that person. Now that person's left injured without anyone to make a case against. That's in one scenario. Or the company, for example, has an accountant that handles physical cash of the company.
Yeah.
Where millions move.
Yeah.
And he could take that money and easily just move away or run away.
Yeah.
Or these things.
So I think this
can
is a
happen.
symptom of the fact that most people here come from places outside of here,
Yeah.
and then they can go back anytime, and there wouldn't be any consequences for them.
So you should put
So
some
it's a
protection
balance.
against that. Yeah, it's kind of like a balance kind of thing. But also, most like 99.999% of the cases, they're not allowed to do that, and also they shouldn't be doing that, and the employer or the employee shouldn't be doing that either.
Yeah, because 6-7 years ago, I remember going for a visa appointment thing, and they forced me to sit through the, a
Yes.
presentation
Yes,
about
yes, yes,
about
yes.
this passport thing.
Yeah. Not
Um,
only it's about everything, like all of your rights as an employee. it's
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, and there was about 50 construction workers with me who were watching that in different languages, I think. So they understand that this is your right.
Of
That's the
course.
problem, right?
Yeah.
Like in the previous episode, it's all about leverage and knowledge.
Sometimes they do it before they go for that meeting, though. That's the problem. This is where the miscommunication happens, is the company says it, and they're like, I guess this is... But then, obviously, now it's been such a cultural, like, generalization that everyone knows that you're not supposed to be doing that. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, yeah, okay. But I think Dubai as a city and UAE as a country gets the brunt of the online hate because of this. But I think in a way, I've spoken to a lot of construction workers because if I see one and I'm free, I speak to them.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been the case. I haven't been able to actually find something like that myself.
If you look at it realistically, now, the market, the free hand movement of the market, Adam
Yeah.
Smith, right? Like, I forgot the exact wording for it, but it's basically the market does what the market will
Yeah.
The market will do what the market does, always.
Yeah,
For construction, there's a certain rate for the work that is being paid for that
yeah,
rate. The beauty of Dubai is that it's 200 plus nationalities living here. So
Yeah.
obviously that rate is going to differ than what you have in Europe
yeah.
or you have in other places.
Not just the nationality bit. Europe has minimum wage.
There
So
is that as well.
regardless of your qualifications, this is what you're going to make.
There is that as well. One interesting thing that I've seen about, to me it's logical.
Which people call as a human right. But then in a way, I don't see it like that. So
That's an interesting concept. Why? Because you have minimum wage, and now a lot of people that want to move abroad, they pay these immigration companies all over the world like so much money for them to find them a job abroad
yeah,
and take them over there for work. But if there's minimum wage and I'm an Albanian employer, why would I hire someone that doesn't know the culture, doesn't speak the language, doesn't, when I can just pay him the same wage that I would just pay some Albanian guy the same wage for him to come work for me in construction. The beauty of Dubai is that it understands that. So it said, okay, no minimum wage, but what do you get in return? Anyone that comes here from abroad, you can be a British citizen. You come here, you're immediately making double. How? You don't pay taxes. You're an Indian citizen, you're immediately making double. First of all, you're earning in a currency that's pegged to the dollar, so you're earning in dollars.
well, construction workers don't pay taxes in India as well because they
Okay, you don't pay
make much.
taxes, but you're earning in dollars.
Yes.
And
So
you
every month, what they're making is increasing automatically.
You have already,
Yeah.
just by being here, you have doubled your income. And as an average rule,
You're
it's
taken
the
care
same
of,
for
yeah.
all nationalities. When you come here, you almost immediately, on average, most majority, you double your income
Yeah.
compared to what you were making back home. Now, when you're here, yes, you can have, for example, salaries there's discrepancies between salaries, but I've seen that being reduced. Why? Because of competition. Purely because of competition.
Yeah.
More and more educated people from all over the world are coming here.
Yeah.
At the time, way back in the days, it was a new country. You needed to push people that have education, that have,
To come here.
skills,
Yeah.
skilled workers to come here. So you had to pay that difference, that premium pricing,
Yeah.
especially for higher level management.
Yeah.
But now, with the amazing boom that Dubai has had in real estate, in the market and everything, people are lining up to come here.
Yeah.
So that discrepancy in salaries doesn't exist anymore. Or it's averaging itself out, it's smoothing itself out. That curve
Yeah.
is average, it's smoothing itself
I
out.
think a little bit will always be there because if someone's got the same kind of experience and education, One of them is from India, one of them is from the UK. The British guy has no incentive to come here unless he's paid more or roughly the same but tax free as what he is in the UK. But the UK's cost of living is so high that the amount looks higher on paper, yeah? But the Indian guy is going to be making far less salary back in India, so he'll accept a lower salary here compared to the British guy. So it's market dynamics and less to do with discrimination and
It's pure market. That's why I told
Yeah.
you you leave the market alone, and it's
Yeah.
just gonna do what the market does.
if hypothetically every single Indian and Pakistani just started refusing jobs for lower prices, the rates would go up.
Yeah.
So that's what people, I guess, don't understand. There's no nuanced conversation.
Yes.
Okay, what about the war now? Let's talk about the
Okay.
situation. What are your thoughts on what's happening and how the government has responded? And what would you like to say?
I mean, I think the government has responded fantastically. Honestly, I think once this all settles down, you thought the boom that happened 2-3 years ago was big. Just wait for the next one. That's my honest view. If you can have this that happened, the situation that happened, and now you're gonna have it settled
Yeah.
and no more issues, what other thing could you say that could potentially affect the market in a negative way? There's nothing. Like nothing could affect it. So in that sense, the boom, and that every buyer understands this. Why are there so many smart buyers, smart investors that are still here, still looking for distressed deals? How many
Yeah.
calls do you get, and how
Yeah.
many messages do you get looking for distressed deals?
Yeah.
I myself am looking for distressed deals for myself, for my family.
Yeah, it's a bit strange for me as well because I've had many. Actually, I've only had buyers come into my DMs, and I think one or two sellers. But those sellers are also not true distressed. So everything that we've always had like 4%, 5%, 10% below market,
Yeah.
depending on what it is.
Always.
Yeah.
Like you have the market rate, even before this whole situation.
Yeah,
Market rate is something, then the
Yeah.
seller is actually willing to sell 5% below it,
Yeah.
10% below it.
so that's getting rebranded now
Yeah.
as distressed. But I've had so many more people, and it feels very like people are like vultures.
Yeah.
Like they've come out to sort of prey on these poor people who might be there who want to get rid of things. And
Hey, this is the market.
Yeah.
If the guy is willing to sell and someone else is willing to buy at the agreed upon price,
yeah,
it is what it is.
what would you say about the response the government has had with the defense? And then I want to potentially speak about the online hate the guy's got.
I mean, fantastic. Is there anything else to say? Honestly, these kind of things, they've answered it perfectly. There's no need for a response. 95+% of interceptions with how many casualties? Rest in peace. I'm sorry for everything that has happened. Like, it's really sad, but let's put that to the side for now. The actual casualties that have happened, you have more casualties happening at a football match where like it's a derby.
Yeah. Okay. And what about the hate that the guy is receiving online?
What about it?
Why do you think that is?
You know that feeling? I'll be honest. I'll be very openly honest with you. When you're scrolling through Instagram, the doom scrolling, and you see some guy that shows himself off with all this money online and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and like he's successful, or if he's really successful or not, we don't care. It's not the point. Doesn't that little voice inside of you go like, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
normal human nature. You put anonymity and a screen and a filter and a geographical location that's different from all across the world between these two parties. It's normal that they're voicing out their hate and stuff like that. Like if I was in their position, I would also be like, oh, like if I was paying 50% taxes and I knew everyone in that country from my own background, whether I'm British or whatever, European,
Yeah.
came to UAE and have doubled their income
Yeah.
and are not paying taxes and are living a nice life, going for brunch every weekend or this or that. I'm obviously sugarcoating it. It's all nice. But that's what you're seeing on Instagram. That's what you're seeing on social media. You're seeing the highlights of people's lives. So it's normal human nature for you to your first reaction to be to hate. Whereas what you could potentially be doing is sitting down and studying where that hate is actually coming from. Either they have a bad agenda to begin with, and those people's opinions just shouldn't even matter or be calculated or considered,
Yeah.
or they're actually people that could be educated or could be, told that sit down with themselves. Why am I hating on this? I could be living that same lifestyle. Okay, how much does it cost? How much do I make? What's my next best move on the chessboard in my life?
Yeah.
Is to move to Dubai, is to set up something over there. I'm making money online. I could just move there. Now I have essentially doubled my income because I'm not paying any taxes or close to little taxes.
Yeah. I think the hate that Dubai is getting online, like I saw a post about how someone posted, well, there you go, Dubai's finished. It never meant anything anyway. Something like this. And I thought, like, the whole reason it's being targeted is because it matters so much.
Yeah.
Like, nobody would care if it was just the other parties, like, fighting. If there was no, missiles flying over the skies of Dubai, who would care?
Yeah.
Like, beyond, like, a day or two of scrolling, like, okay, there's another war. Like, there are so many wars that are also going on right now that nobody cares about. The fact that they used Dubai to get attention, like everyone else does anyway, just says how important it is as a city. And then it just adds the city into the list of the great cities. It's like one of the eligibility criteria to be a great city, right?
Yeah.
You have to get bombed at some time.
Or you have this, and it's true. Like I really love studying not study sociology, but two things that I really care about is sociology and psychology. When you look at sociology, like for example, now if you have gas prices that go up, all the way in Australia, by the way, it's happening. There's a shortage because of what's happening. Gas prices grow up, immediately people's reaction is like, oh yeah, of course, Middle East or Dubai, of course. There's something happening. I know, of course. If it wasn't happening in Dubai, they would wake up one day, why the hell are gas prices going up? And someone else, some expert would have to come on TV and explain.
Yeah.
Because no one would know, no one would care. Say, oh, by the way, this happened because this is linked to this, and then the gas prices have gone up. They're like, oh, that's why. Yeah. But now you don't even need the expert. Food prices go up or gas prices go up, everyone's reaction is like, obviously it's going to go up because everyone has, the marketing is so strong here that it's marketed the entire world. And even what's going on in their own countries, they know it's linked to here, so they understand.
Yeah. And I think there's no such thing as negative publicity.
Yeah.
And the way COVID was another stepping stone for like getting your name out there as a city. Yeah. So I think that's also what's happening. Yeah. So reaching a lot more people. And surprisingly, some of the emails, like I get the fact that some of my older buyers in the pipeline made fun of the situation and said, where are the $10,000 homes now?
Yeah.
But at the same time, some buyers who are now coming in after knowing fully well, they are actually more impressed by the country. And then that's, hats off to the country of how it's behaving right now.
Yeah.
Managing the situation. What do you think is going to happen to Europe? How do you think this country is going to recover?
I don't think Europe, for now at least, anything's going to happen. Maybe they will get affected with like an energy crisis. Maybe we'll see how long this drags on for. But other than that, I think because of the energy crisis, which is going to be very funny to see, or like interesting, people from Europe are going to move away from Europe because of an energy crisis and because cost of living is going to be so high and they literally can't make ends meet, or they won't be able to, and they're going to come into the heart of the problem.
Yeah.
Where the heart of the problem is like flawlessly Aikido, like handling the problem.
Yeah.
People go out. I'm like, they're like, Dubai, like it's empty. There's no one going out. I'm like, if it's so empty, why am I in traffic right now? Why am I sitting in traffic right now? Why am I standing in a line waiting for my turn or something like?
Yeah. Also, in a sense, like think about it like a family. So if there's a crisis, you have the option to be in one of these two families. The first one has $1.8 trillion in assets, and the second one has $3 trillion in debt. So I think that also has to do with how you're able to manage a crisis.
Yeah. Correct.
Is there anything else with respect to living in Dubai that you would want to tell someone that's moving here?
In terms of legal?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of legal, you're just going to have to... I'll give you friendly advice. Friendly advice. Just whoever you meet, I hope you run into the right people that have your best interests at heart. And once you find those people, keep them very close. Dubai is a very like they have very transactional communities over
Yeah.
here. And I understand it's a fast-paced city. Everyone wants to make money. Everyone's here for making money. Like, why would you leave your family, etc., unless you're trying to make money, build a better future for
Yeah.
yourself and your close, immediate family, and maybe family back home. However, because everyone's in that mindset, it can be a very transactional country. So you may meet someone that say, "Oh, I can do this for you. I can do that for you," but there's a deal behind the scenes that you don't know about. And once that deal doesn't go through or there's any problems, those people can disappear. However, if you've tried and tested the people around you and you know that they're people worth keeping, always keep them around. They're not always easy to come by or run into in the over here in the communities that are over here. I think that, but what has changed, what will change, with what has happened, with the filtering that has happened with everyone that was like, oh my God, Dubai, and they left. Those are usually the people that are just like, they have shiny object syndrome and they're chasing the next thing, whereas the people that stayed are the actual genuine people that are going to structure and build everything.
It's actually funny how success in Dubai is linked to just doing your job well consistently.
Yeah.
That's it. The bar is so low.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are here to chase the quick buck and then go back home.
But I think that's a true litmus test as well. Like really looking at the communities and the people that have been here for very long. That's a real test of like your integrity. Because if you're not a real you don't have integrity, you're not a person that like people can depend on or trust, you're not going to make it long term in the UAE. You're going to run into one problem and then the next, and then you're out of money, and then you have to run away, go back home or whatever. Or now you're in debt and you have a travel ban here, you don't have a bank account, blah, 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 blah. So if you're actually someone that can be trusted and you're running your life smoothly for the last 20, 30, 50 years, you're someone that people can depend on. It's very important for people, for companies that you're dealing with, whatever it is.
Yeah, trust is a good currency out here.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you again.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.